final remarks or comments, reminders, etc.? Boy, everybody's just happy-go-lucky today. Okay, so I'll bring it back to the board for questions of the staff, the applicant, the appellant, or public comment. Supervisor Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Questions for both Mr. Lynch and Mr. Zotter. Do you have any reservations or concerns with this type of a project with this zoning?
I had reservations when anyone comes in to develop this site because it has such a history of problems with the neighborhood. And I think the applicant was well advised of that. And applicants in the past have been advised of that. I mean, I think the neighborhood's done a good job in representing themselves and expressing their concerns. I happen to agree that this project does mitigate most of the concerns that they have.
So in general, the industrial zoning is appropriate for this type of use?
The use is permitted within the zoning district.
And would you concur, Mr. Zotter?
Yes, I do.
Questions of Mr. DeShield on transportation and circulation? I noted that the initial members of the public tended to stress transportation as a concern, as their primary concern. A number of them did. Could you just go over how you made your determination on this? And it says, the Mendocino County Department of Transportation determined that no further traffic analysis or mitigation is required at this time, after you made a few comments. Could you just give us some highlights of that?
Well, basically, this is on this one. Basically, when the subdivision was done, there was a study done by the consultant at that point that talked about the 25 truck trips per peak hour being a point where this might need to be studied again. As was stated by this applicant, this project comes nowhere near that threshold, so I think the department, in reviewing existing documentation on file, just felt that it wasn't even close to being an issue.
So any other comments on the transportation side, on the appropriateness of this type of a use for this type of a site? You've been to the site, you understand the traffic circulation issues, the truck trips, the peak hour concerns. Can you give us any more information as to how you were able to reach the decision that you support this project?
Well, again, it's past uses of the same property, adjacent commercial uses. The kind of truck traffic that's being proposed here is just well within what we consider normal for that industrial area. It just seems appropriate to the department.
So you have no reservations besides the ones that would be noted here?
Correct.
Thank you.
Other comments from the board? Supervisor Pinches.
Yeah, just comments. First of all, this has been zoned industrial since our original general plan in 1980, right? 81, right? There is presently an asphalt plant just across the North State Street to the east, operated. But just in that general area, and Mr. Cox, I'm not as old as you, but I'm getting up there. You remember when Landis Morgan's truck shop was just to the south of that? And Landis had probably 250 or more trucks, right? In and out of that. And the Parnham certainly probably done more business than Granite does to the east of this site. And Oakley Trucking, which adjoins the piece of property we're talking about, used to have anywhere from 15 to 30 trucks. Now I think they're down to self-operators. My point is the truck traffic in that area is significantly less. So I don't think the issue of truck traffic, and any time a truck goes by children or any car goes by children walking, there's a safety issue. But I think the accumulation and use of truck traffic in that general area is not just measurably less, but significantly less. And I don't think 8 or 10 truck traffic trips per day even comes up to the measure of when Landis Morgan had his truck traffic, his operation just to the south of this piece of property. Yeah. But I'm talking about directly to the south of this property is where Mr. Morgan's operation used to be. This is actually the fourth MRF that I've been involved in my political career. The first one was in Willits, about the Little Lake industry site, which turned down. The second was with the MSAW site out here on North Lake Mendocino Drive. I was opposed to that, not because it was a MRF, it was because I didn't feel that the North Coast Rail Authority had the ability to haul the waste from it, and it was strictly on economics. It wasn't a land use issue that I was opposed to. It was strictly on an economic issue, and I think ultimately that was project fell apart, and for good reason. It would probably be our traffic or our garbage rates would probably be double what they are if we were using that, and it was designed for rail haul, and now there's no railroad. The third one is, of course, the Jerry Ward recent project in Willits, and this one. But to say that all of our recyclables and everything goes south, for instance, all of our wood waste right now is going north. It's going to be burned as to generate power up in Humboldt County at Scotia. So to say that all of our